other presenters. Today's presentation, which I'm going to show you, which we refer to as the electric board, because that's what this is, and I'll explain that in a moment. But we're here, thankful to the Rodeo Hercules Fire Department, and they had us let us use their room to do this demonstration, and we appreciate it. Hercules, California, and Rodeo are approximately 30 miles north of San Francisco. So if you haven't heard of our little town, that's where it is. I'm going to show you this board, but before I do, I want to show you some important things. And especially it comes up because the kids are the ones that bring up a lot of good thoughts. And one is these gloves. When I hold these up to any audience with mostly children, I'll say, do you have these at home? And the first thing, boy, the hands go up and they said, yeah. Well, what do you use it for? Well, my mom does the dishes. My mom cleans the bathroom. Dad doesn't apparently do too much, but they say he does occasionally. He'll change oil in the car. Well, they have gloves that look like that, but these certainly are not those type of gloves. These are for use for high voltage, 12,000 volts, whatever. And our voltage is a thing we use. And the gloves are yellow inside, and that's to show if something peers through, you can easily see where it is. But what we do, we look over the glove. And according to the laws of the company, and also these are the laws of the state of California of Cal OSHA. We fill these with water, make sure that they're not leaking, dump out the water, and give it a visual inspection to make sure there's no cuts or tears or anything, because very important, wearing these, that they're in good shape. The gloves are dated, and they're only good for 6 months and 6 months only. They may look like they can last a lot longer, and they probably would, but we're not going to take the chance. We're not going to take the chance at all. And what we do, we put on these leather protectors after we do the checking. And by the way, that check is not only on one side, we turn the glove inside out and fill that with water and do the same process as the first time. And with these protectors, we put it on the glove, and all of a sudden, this glove is protecting that rubber glove, and the rubber glove is saving our lives. And that's just that simple. So with this board, we're going to show you, this board is 12,000 volts. And it depends on the area that you're in. San Francisco is 4 kV, 1,000 volts. And because geographical location being smaller, that's the highest voltage. They ran that for years. When you go over to East Bay, or come over here, or down the peninsula, a lot more area, so the voltage is up. And in some areas, the voltage is even needed even higher, so it runs up to around 21,000 volts. So it depends where you are in the voltage, but we have to wear these gloves. Now I'm going to turn on the light, and then all of a sudden you see that light on, and the power is on. When I finish the presentation, often children walk up and they say, can we touch that? I said, what do you want to touch? Well, we see the lights out. But the point is, how do you know that that light bulb didn't burn out? You don't know. So you can't take anybody's word for anything. That's why at PG&E we do testing all the time. The first example is somebody taking down an antenna off their roof. They're removing the antenna, they're raising it up, they're not paying attention. This could be a painter, it could be anybody up there doing this, not looking, and all of a sudden they touch this. And then all of a sudden, that's a fatality. In fact, a lot of people in different areas, pool cleaners, they'll have long poles cleaning out a pool, and there happens to be a line up there. There's another point of contact. So we have many different points of contact. The next one that we have here is a tree. Now a tree, you think, well, geez, how does the tree work out? The tree is, of course, leaves and wood. And electricity always goes to ground. It goes to ground. So you touch that, especially through the wood, goes all the way down to the ground, and that's where you're going to get it. Another thing that we have to contend with, too, is kites. Kids fly kites, and you don't do it where there's overhead lines. because there's the string and there's everything else. It's the days of Ben Franklin is when it starts. That's the basic thing about it. So anything that gets up there can come down and really do a lot of damage. So with the tree, using that for an example, and keep in mind the kites and everything too that can happen to, and Malar balloons, by the way, that's a no-no no matter what it is, because they're on a string, they're metal, metallic, and you can, again, you can see the consequences. So touching that, and all of a sudden blown away, you can see. The kite will do the same thing, and anything else that gets in those lines, it wants to go to ground, and that's the way it's going to take, the easiest way. And through our bodies is a fantastic way to get there because most of our bodies are water. Now, this program started years ago, I guess about in the 60s, and it was called Look Up and Live because it was basically made for the farm workers. We have so many people down around Bakersfield and the farm areas of California here that were getting electrocuted picking up some irrigation pipe. The irrigation pipe they usually store to this day out in the field, and mice and dirt and everything gets in those pipes. So the next day, when they're ready to do the work, they pick it up, shake it out before they put it together and run water through it. And in doing that, they're shaking it out by turning it up, like you see this little figurine doing that. And what he's doing, he's not, again, his attention is drawn to what he's doing and not to the line above. Touches that, and look at the feet. Electricity goes to ground and right through. So the next thing is the school bus. Kids, we tell them all the time, stay in the bus. What's protecting them is the rubber tires. So by staying in the bus, they have a good chance of survival. Getting out is very risky. We have videotapes that show how to get out of a vehicle in case you have to, and that's something that needs some training or watching to do because you have to jump out and then hop away, not walk away. You have to hop away. So there's a lot of different procedures out there when it comes to safety. So you can't take any of this for granted. What does happen, if a wire falls down, say there was a family in this car, and all of a sudden, here we have a man coming over to try to help. And this is very common. Somebody wants to help the person out. Well, he touches that car, there's a fatality. The people probably survived it in the car because of rubber tires. But outside, touching that car, not much of a chance for him. The last one here is dig-ins. Big deal over the years. All kinds of terrible things that happen. Because we could see at least these lines up above, the old way. But underground you can't. And that brings up a problem. So you have to call, you have to get somebody out there to locate and find out where they are. At least somebody should get the shovel and get down there and actually see after they find out where they think that line is there gas, is there water, is there other kind of things that's down on that before you start digging. And in this case, somebody goes out there, they start digging, and all of a sudden, bam, you break that, there's been explosions and everything that's occurred. Who's ever operating the vehicle, best to stay out of the vehicle. You start jumping or anything else, risky. If you're alive in any of these type of things after the contact is made, stay where you are. And of course, call PG&E, call anybody, call 911, but get them out there to do this type of excavation to make sure that nobody's hurt. Okay. Well, that's it for my presentation. I want to thank you for taking a look, and if you have any questions, certainly call PG&E, but don't take any risks out there. This is called the Public Safety Information Program, and I've been very